So, hip-hop vampire.
Yeah.
What genre of music would you like to see combined with a famous monster?
Oh, well, nothing screams scary like funk. And,
Funk.
yeah, a funk.
Alien.
Funk Alien. All one word.
Funk Alien.
That's the name. That's the name of the movie. We've got a franchise.
Funk Alien 3. I don't know any funk terms, is the problem.
So you got Funk Alien, Funk Alien 2, the funkening, and then number 3 is Funk Alien 3, Get Funky. That's all you need.
Something to do with groove.
Number 4 is
Grooves.
how Funk Alien got his groove back. No, how Funk Alien got his groove back, and then it just like descends into mindless screaming.
It trails off from the poster.
Yeah.
Onto the next poster, which is a rom-com, and it's just ruined by Funk Alien.
By Funk Alien 4, how Funk Alien got his groove back. Yeah.
Wow, that's certainly better than my options. So, folk zombie.
Folk zombie is pretty good, but when you go down to the provinces, mate, what's the difference?
Oh, I went down to town and ate some brains.
I went down to town
Daddy beat
and ate
me
some
to it.
brains.
Oh yeah, I was doing some of American folk.
Provinces, mate, they're
Such
weird.
is American dominance of our art forms.
Look out,
Well,
Cornwall.
here's something more British. How about Grime Frankenstein?
Grime Frankenstein is very good. Frankenstein. There you go.
You made me, mate.
Oh, mate. I know.
Mate.
I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry, but I had to for your mum.
And he's a ska guy, so Dr. Frankenstein's always doing like ska music when he's dressing down his stitched together son.
I thought by Scar guy, I thought you were saying he was a Skarsgård.
He's a Skarsgård, and he's a guy who's ironically not covered in scars, unlike his grimy son.
Frankenstein Skarsgård. Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Frankenstein Skarsgård 4.
Oh God, welcome everyone.
Idiots.
Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that does eat fried chicken. I guess we'll never be gangsters of love in the eyes of Snoop Dogg.
No.
No, I'm Paul Pete.
I'll burn your asses and snort your asses.
One then the other. You
Yeah.
choose the order.
I'm willing to
Not a
commit.
good option. This is part 2 of a personal mission on my part to diversify our catalogue of terrible movies a little and try to find some hidden gems amongst the category of bad movies directed by non-white male directors. The non-white male community has gotten in touch and asked me not to do this.
Yeah.
They said it was counterproductive, they said.
So the agenda, and they said agenda in quotation marks. They sent a gif of, I don't know, Chris Pratt doing air quotes. So you have to follow
Oh, I
that.
love it when Chris Pratt does air quotes.
Oh, God, I fucking love him in gifs.
He
Do you know
did it in
what?
Passengers. I didn't wake you up early.
I didn't remove your agency, darling.
Oh, that was so gifable, mate.
Oh, gifable. Fucking love that he had a retribution arc.
Oh, I love it. I'm thinking a lot about MODOK from Ant-Man. I'm going to try and put that out of my mind.
Gonna have to
Forget
stop
the
thinking
fact
about
that's-
Ant-Man, mate.
I have to stop thinking about Ant-Man ear at some stage, but not. Today is not that day.
No. So if you're wondering why
now-
there are so many Quantum Mania references, that's why.
It's
That's
because I got it
why.
on the brain, son. Thinking about MODOK and how he's going to be every incel's profile picture by the end of the week. Something about it. It's perfect. I feel like it was made to be an NFT. Anyway.
Oh, love that.
There's a lot of hatred spewing already, and this is not the place for that, because this is a place of love. For you, dear listener. Because, yes, this is our endeavor. This is my mission, and our episode on the Slumber Party Massacre made me appreciate the fact that this is going to be a very difficult, if not impossible task, because I didn't fully appreciate that discrimination in the movie industry was not so much a net that kept most non-white men out, but a wall that only a few individuals managed to smash their way through. Proud, powerful individuals like whoever directed Slumber Party Massacre. What?
It was only if they accepted certain caveats as well, like having to do a silly dance at the same time.
You got to have Steve Martin in it. Why?
Why would you make me do
That's
this?
it.
Look at what you've done.
So yeah, it's going to be a fun endeavor, but nevertheless, I will not rest until we find the Black Breen or the female McCahey.
Okay, but not the other way around.
Not the other way around. God no. But when I say I won't rest, I mean we'll do this sometimes when there's a slot.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good because it was starting to feel a little bit like my mission as well. And you know how I feel about missions, mate. Ever since I retired from questing.
Don't worry, mate. There'll be no missions here. Just good times. I just thumbs up. I could just do one, but you know.
It's better if you say it, because I can't.
You say it best when you explain what you mean. So, and of course, we already know about Rudy Ray Moore. So don't write in about Rudy Ray Moore. You know, those movies are already beloved, rightly. But you know, we may well do Petey Witcher or Avenging Disco Godfather eventually. But we have to earn it first.
Yeah, look, don't get in touch about Rudy Ray Moore. I'm already going to mention him at the end of the episode as my only avenue into blaxploitation. So we've got it covered. I'm the white male representative of this episode. So and every episode. So please just
and everything I do. And don't worry, we're already putting our weight on it. You can relax about that.
Yeah.
But yes, today we have a vampire movie with Snoop Dogg in it. How's that?
Well,
Go on.
All right.
Whoa.
I'll check and let you know. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Look at his fashion. It's 2001's Bones, not starring David Boreanaz.
Crucially.
What's the matter, bro? You spooked? This place is off the hook.
There's nothing but a dark world of pain locked in that building.
The last owner on the lease was back in '79. It's a cat named Jimmy Bones.
Jimmy Bones?
Yeah, why? You heard of him?
This is the story of Jimmy Bones, black as night, hard as stone.
It's the past, Patrick. It's dead.
Gold-plated dudes like the King of Siam got a switchblade loose and a diamond on his head. There's a switchblade and there's a diamond.
I don't think your past is dead, Pop. It's alive. Jimmy Bones, was that you? We killed you. It's a trip, ain't it?
The director is Ernest Dickerson, who gets his start at New York University's film program, where he meets Spike Lee and shoots his master's thesis film, Spike Lee's master's thesis film, Joe's Bedstay Barbershop, We Cut Heads, which is a short film he made, which had Ang Lee as the assistant director.
What?
My master's program will be equally stunning, I'm sure.
God. Who let ethereal presence Ang Lee, not actually a real human being, into a studio?
He came and he made Joe's Bedstoy Barbershop We Cut Heads with Spike Lee, and I think that's marvelous. The director of this movie ended up becoming Spike Lee's cinematographer, working on everything from She's Gotta Have It through to and including Malcolm X. So that's a pretty damn good cinematography going on.
That's a spread, Paul.
That is a spread and a half, so you can expect nothing but the most gorgeous images here. Then he makes his directing debut with Juice in 1992, which sounds great. It's a well-reviewed crime thriller starring Omar Epps and Tupac.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, which sounds great, but...
Oh, no, I haven't seen it, but I want to, because Juice sounds really good.
Yeah.
And that kind of becomes his deal for a bit. He makes genre movies with some surprisingly big names.
Okay.
Surviving the Game is an adaptation of Most Dangerous Game with Ice-T and Rutger Hauer. Demon Knight with Billy Zane and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Fuck yeah.
Bulletproof with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. Oh boy, I know which one we're going to cover.
Fuck. Tree of Life.
Oh, you know what, mate? That's a point. We shouldn't be too down ourselves on how terrible our filmography, because we did, after all, do White Chicks.
Yeah.
A triumph for representation for everyone.
Mate, you put the Wayans alongside Kevin McAllister's dad, and that you've got equality.
What do you expect? What do you expect to happen? An equal and equitable society, and that's what I'm all here for.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayans. Oh, and later he did some TV stuff, The Wire or something.
No, never heard of it, mate.
Nah.
Sounds shit and boring.
Wire? What's that about, like bras and stuff? What, you
No,
into
it
that?
was
You're into
something
that sort
about
of thing, are you?
Women.
Yeah, doesn't sound very good, mate. It's got Jason Statham in it. It does. He's in it. He's McNulty. That'd have been a different atmosphere. This whole system's fucked.
What did I do?
The fuck did I do?
McNulty.
The movie was written by Adam Simon, who's bad. Probably most famous for cult movie fans for Carnosaur, and to horror fans for The Haunting in Connecticut, which is all right. But yeah,
Okay.
Jesus, there's a lot of bad stuff in there.
Oh, good.
It was
Okay.
also written by Tim Metcalf, who was at least involved in some higher profile terrible movies like Revenge of the Nerds 1 through 4 and Fright Night 2.
Well, I imagine if I'd have seen those, then I could have expressed an opinion.
And they are not well respected, I can tell you.
Oh, no. That's a shame.
However, the film, speaking of well respected, the film stars Snoop Dogg and is an interesting stage of his career, made between his albums, The Last Meal and Paid the Cost to Be the Boss, to be da boss, I'll have you know.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He was in 7 movies this year.
Was he now?
Yes, which includes Training Day.
Yeah.
Memorably.
Okay.
And Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, which was a mix of hip-hop music video and hardcore porn film.
Fantastic. Well, if we could have set that up with just on, the strength of our names, you'd be listening to a silent podcast right now, and you'd be missing us, wondering where we are in the middle of our never-ending porn story.
We're gonna mix one good thing with a hardcore porn film, and that's why I didn't like 65. But look, forget about that. Look at this 69.
I was thinking of some sort of like hip hopumentary, maybe.
You mean combining one good thing with hip hop? That I am all in favor of.
Yeah, with the brash anti-authoritarian street smarts of hip hop.
Incidentally, the first hardcore porn film to be featured on the Billboard music video charts, so that's fun, and led to a trend of rappers hosting porn, which, yeah.
It's a paycheck. And an ability to be in a porn.
It was shot at his house, but apparently did not involve Mr. Dog. So
okay.
He just wanted to know that it had been done right there in his conservatory.
He occasionally shows up just looking in through the window, giving a thumbs up. Yeah. Hey, I approve of all of this.
Every bit of it.
Hope you guys are unionized.
I don't fuck with people who aren't unionized. The film also stars... I literally do not fuck with them. The film also stars Clifton Powell, a very successful and hard-working supporting actor. He played the dad in this.
Yes.
And he voiced Big Smoke in San Andreas. All we had to do was follow the damn train.
Oh.
That was him, just in case his voice brought up a lot of anger in you.
No, not at all. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto. Not since... I played the top-down ones when I was a kid and found it really funny to just run people over. Oh, wow. And then I started playing one of... I know, it's terrible, but enough of that. I started playing the other Grand Theft Autos and went, I don't like these. I don't want them. So, yeah, I didn't get far enough.
Wow. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, look, I bring him up because he has possibly the worst Wikipedia picture I've ever seen. That's Mr. Clifton Powell.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a candid from a wedding being held in a climate that he is not comfortable with.
The wedding in hell.
The wedding in hell that he was just not packed for. And it's been going on for a day, and he really wants to be in bed.
When they said hell, I thought they just meant Brooklyn. Hey, stop using that comedy sting. Get back here.
Oh, no! He runs off with his keyboard, with Casio.
Puts on a mustache.
Speaking of Casio, the music was by Elia Camilo. I think. It's a C and an M. I don't know what to do, Czech Republic. I'm sorry. Okay, nothing prepared me for this.
Just do a vague phlegmy sound. You'll be fine.
Camilo is fine. So he's a Czech composer who also did the music for Battlefield Earth and Piranha 3 DD.
Fantastic. Is there anything he can't do? I say that as
The soundscape.
It didn't jump out as bad or anything. The score, it was just... I didn't even notice the score. I was too busy with the film.
That's what a good score should do, Paul.
So it was genuine what I said. What bit of this episode? That's for you to find out.
I know. Brilliant. So the film was received by critics like the return of a guy they once murdered. Oh no, I'll have to call the council about that.
I mean, Peter Travers will know exactly what that's like.
Roger Ebert, he puts them down. When he puts them down, he puts them way down. They're not getting back up.
I've never been caught for murder once.
Therefore, Mick Lascelles at the San Francisco Chronicle said,
Uh-oh.
to point out little flaws in this one would be like looking at a demolished car and complaining that the tail light doesn't work. Bitter guy, Mick Lascelles there, who's come afoul of the San Francisco Transit Police just one too many times.
And no one will fix his broken tail light. That's the sad truth. No one will take it.
Car's ruined, mate. Look, I want a new tail light, okay?
The cops are on my ass.
What is it going to cost me? They keep hounding me. They did all this because of the tail light, but they still insist.
It's a cruel place, a cruel world. And he has just articulated what I was going to try and articulate a little bit later. The reason I don't have too many notes. Critics, is there anything they can't do?
Public, meanwhile, knew what it is and what it will be.
That's the key.
Oh, fuck me. Why did I pick everyone with the hardest names this week? This week, the worst day of my life. Okay. Mason Calliariel over on Google said, in a 4-star review, my math teacher was in this movie.
I was going to give it 5 stars.
And that prick showed up. I mean, I defy you to argue with that.
That's great, because that makes me wonder who was his math teacher.
Who was his math teacher in this film?
It was the Marilyn Monroe.
Big guy, the vampire.
What, Snoop? Yeah. Snoop Dogg. Yes. That's
right, Mr. Dog, as he made us call it. Bones has 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, 42% on Metacritic, 4.4 on IMDb, 82% on Google, and made about half of its production budget back.
Okay, well, you know. It's no devil inside, but what is?
What is these crazy days? So, Paul, I didn't even write that. This is the worst episode we've ever done.
You can call me.
And it's my fault.
All right. Oh, good. Oh, that's nice. I appreciate you admitting that, and everybody, you heard it. So, Paul, you Marilyn Monroe.
Wolf.
Oh,
that'll do.
Yeah.
Yes.
What made this film?
See, it's not so easy.
Well, no, I was just
having a literal heart attack.
What made you think this film is from a cat or something?
Well, Paul, let me tell you. I think really the first thing I have to say is that the house looked like it was permanently surprised, and I appreciate that. Just looked like it had a big gaping mouth and a couple of big eyes on it, and it just looked utterly terrified at all times.
Oh no!
Yeah. There's what going on inside?
Oh, you'd never believe it.
They always blame the house. It's not my fault Snoop Dogg got killed in me.
That's what made me racist, honest. But yeah,
some of them are good. No, I'm so confused, mate.
Such a confused house. And I've got to say, Paul, it was nice seeing that expressive house, because I watched this at 7 a.m. before recording this podcast.
Optimal. That was when it was made for. We're going to get the commuting into work crowd, said Snoop Dogg.
If only I could watch this on my phone.
One day, Timmy.
Well, Paul, that sounds like a gross cop. Tell me what happens in this movie, Bones 2001, starring Snoop Dogg.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happens in this film. Clifton Powell's been in one of our films before. Norbit, fantastic. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
We've got some stuff back there. We've got
some shit at the bottom of that barrel.
Jesus Christ.
We've had some fun, haven't we, mate?
We've had a hell of a time. We've had a hell of a time of things.
Well, it's
21
minutes. Okay, 21 minutes into the recording, mate. Should we start talking about Bones?
21 minutes to go? Sure. So, yeah, we've got Vanilla Ice and his friend Vanilla Ice, who are both looking to score some drugs when they get attacked and killed by a terrible CG wolf pig.
Yeah, they do. Some other stuff happened in that scene, but hey, who cares?
Some stuff. They went to a house in order to score. Yeah. The drug dealers had left some stuff in a house, but the house was spooky because there was a terrible wolf that killed them.
Yeah, I'm not racist, honest, and New girl and new girl's friend they get dragged in just at the very last minute, displaying their incredible strength and ability to scratch dents into floorboards. But it didn't save them from the Snoop Dogg dog.
Oh, Snoop Dogg dog.
Spoilers. Yeah,
that got him. So we get an opening credit sequence, which is
1979.
1979, and we get an opening credit sequence that reminds us of Addams Family and Men in Black and the fonts that they used. And we get the terrible revelation that back in the 1970s, Snoop Dogg's shit was really good. Like his whole situation was extremely good in 1979. It seems.
It was Dog Corleone, and he's very. He was living the high life, Paul.
Oh, he was.
He had a Pam Grier girlfriend.
Yep.
He had
can't say fairer than
what
that.
Would you need? Got some money. He had a Clifton Powell on his right hand. His tiny man in his right hand, able to just hold him and shake him around.
You're safe for houses if you can get Clifton Powell in your hand.
Safe
no
as
one's
going
to mess with you.
Just point to
I can now confirm somewhat belatedly that Pam Grier is the only Threeman.
Well, let that be a lesson to the rest of you.
To the rest of you Griers. And you are now enjoying my full attention.
Hooray! I don't know what to do with it. This is a first.
It's horrible. It's like being gazed upon by God. So, it's time to meet some people, our heroes. Because we cut back to the present, incidentally, without anything very dramatic happening. We just get an establishing thing that Snoop Dogg used to be a drug dealer in the 70s.
It's beginning to feel a lot like Halloween Resurrection.
Yay!
I know, this looks like a damn graveyard around here, bro.
Come on, man. This neighborhood's making a comeback.
Where the hell has it been?
Yo, can you picture it, though? Look, we can have the bar right here. Dance floor. Yo, Bill.
What?
Bill.
What?
DJ booth. Right there.
Anything's possible, but that's a lot of work.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Tell me that's like a part of a dog or something, right?
Yeah, that's a dog.
I don't know. That's from a cat.
It's a pretty big cat, Patrick.
Cat, dog, whatever. I got a really great deal on this place. I'm talking about a really great deal, man.
Let's meet our campers. We've got Uncommon, Ice Tray, Skittles, as opposed to M&M, and Julianne Moore.
And Julianne Moore. Okay, very
Julianne
cool.
Moore, who is actually horror movie royalty, Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps and American Mary.
Yes.
And who also has a horrible Wikipedia picture that looks like it's been cropped from the same picture as Clifton Powell. It was one wide shot, and they clipped the pictures.
I love the idea that this is promotional material for this movie, and everybody who's in it just has that picture on their Wikipedia.
For the best day of their careers when they made Bones. A day. They shot it in a day.
I obviously didn't recognize her, despite the fact that I've seen the slasher movie that she was in, one of the remakes. But Nell, who got up to watch it with me, God bless her, immediately walked in the room, pointed at the screen, and went, "That's my girl."
Yeah, she knows her girl.
She knows her girl.
Nell knows all of her girls. You should all be trying harder to become one of Nell's girls, because she looks after them. Great deal.
I know. I've never looked back since. And yeah, these people they come in and oh God, Paul, it's so fresh and original. You couldn't make it up, could you? They come in, they've bought this house, and they're going to do it up and do a disco.
They're going to do a disco tech in there, which is great. Yeah. And they wander around and look at all the red flags that previous people have left. You know, it all gets picked up.
Someone spilt red paint everywhere.
Oh, I love that business. Those crazy, wacky decorators breaking in and splashing things all over the place. It's a menace. It's a social menace. And I won't stand for it.
I need to stamp it out.
Crazy Ralph across the street tries to warn them, but he's not too effective. Maybe he's not crazy enough, so Pam Grier has a go.
I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Shoot that dog. Shoot the dog. Whatever you say, sir.
Don't be that dog!
What the hell's wrong with you?
Some holes can't be filled, and some hunger can't be satisfied.
Why, you think I'm crazy?
Just because I'm yelling at you with this gun!
Look at my crazy hair!
I'm a local historian, damn it! Uncommon goes home, and his dad remembers the time that he screwed over Snoop Dogg. You never forget a thing like that. More details later, but nevertheless, shifty, powerful Clifton dad is definitely hiding something.
Powerful.
Meanwhile, we've got Kendra from Buffy, and she's Pam Grier's daughter, and she visits Uncommon in order to get involved in the horror story he's obviously got going on.
Yeah. Look, me mum warned me about this place. She did it to us. You were there, actually. You saw it when me mum warned me about this place, but I can't get enough of everything that you're laying down.
I just like the vibe of this place. Heartbeat through the floorboards, pipes bleeding blood. Yeah, it's kind of weird, I agree. Must be some sort of rust or something. Yeah, I guess. Want to go into the creepy sub-basement? Yep, absolutely.
What are these flies? That's just appreciation.
Yeah. Well, very weird. I wonder. A Skellingthorpe. Thanks, autocorrect. No. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. The Skellingthorpe.
No one wants to see a surprise Skellingthorpe, mate.
It's the worst part of England.
What the fuck is Skellingthorpe?
I have no idea. It legitimately corrected Skellington to Skellingthorpe.
That's amazing, because it can't just be a small town. Like, it sounds like a small town in England, but why would Microsoft Word know that?
It's not
we, the
Word,
people
mate.
of Skellingthorpe, think it's outrageous that you refuse to include an autocorrect for our humble town.
Right,
we have
fine,
many things.
Fine, we're going to correct every word that begins with S and is over 7 letters to Skellingthorpe from now on.
That would be lovely. Thank you very much. Come to Skellingthorpe. We've got an Aldi.
So, yeah. At some
That's
stage...
Skellington.
Oh, yeah, there's a Skellingthorpe, and it's got a knife in it. And they decide that's fine. We're going to open it anyway.
And one of the DJs who's going to be headlining this discotheque night takes his ring. He sees the ring on a dead man's hand. And he desecrates the corpse.
That was the one who died, so I think that's Skittles.
Skittles, okay. Oh, Skittles.
Spoiler alert for Skittles. It doesn't work out for Skittles, I'm afraid.
Uh-oh. We all knew, though.
Pam Grier, at some point later on, is doing a seance in order to talk to all the fools that she blew away in the 70s. She blew away a lot of fools. Yeah, she's doing that whilst there's an uncomfortable night between Kendra from Buffy and Uncommon, which ends in spooky hijinks. Everybody's having spooky hijinks during this. There's like weird ghosts and things in the walls. Jan de Bont's The Haunting is manifesting.
Well, look, Paul, it definitely feels like The Haunting because, look, I want to point out that it's a wonderful one too that the movie performs here, where Kendra realizes she doesn't want to have sex, and Uncommon fully accepts and understands. Doesn't get angry. And I thought about writing that down, and I thought, no, I shouldn't have to acknowledge that. But anyway, off he goes. Lovely. Oh, no need. Don't be stupid. You don't need to apologize. I'm going to leave. Leave you to your room. But the film has a good grope on her anyway, because the spirit from Pam Grier's seance. Pam Grier's Madcap seance experience has a good feel.
Sign up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a good feel, and it splashes over blood, and it all gets a bit full on in a. It
gets a bit Argento.
It gets a bit Snoop Dogg's hardcore. It's very moody and ambient, but I don't know about this. Hope she's unionized. So let's at this stage they decide they're going ahead anyway, in spite of this, in spite of all these terrifying occurrences that are happening all around them.
Oh yeah, of course.
All the time at this stage.
I mean, if the kids from Halloween Resurrection could survive it. Like, what?
Not Starbuck.
2002? Starbuck was age 20, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't. She was Resurrection.
Yeah. Damn.
You're probably mixing her up with LL Cool
Michelle
J.
Williams? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was in
Michelle,
age 20? Well,
yeah, Michelle Williams was in Age 20.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Michelle Yeoh?
Josh Hartnett. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh was in Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. She played the Curse of the Fawn.
Oh, fantastic.
The eponymous.
Did her own stunts.
So, Uncommon decides he's going to show his dad his new project. He's bound to be thrilled. Look, Dad, I opened up a new dance place in that neighborhood and specific house you told me never to come to.
It's a little business venture that I made on my own. I wanted to show you. I think you will approve. I hope so.
A few moments later.
Bullshit! That is bullshit! You sell it back and there's a fucking order! You fucking hear me? You sell it back to me! You shut it down and you sell this fucker!
Everything I've ever feared, you've done. Right?
I just wanted to get your see the look on your face.
You stupid old man.
You stupid fucking prick.
Oh, look at it. Look at this. This is the place you fear most, and I'm going to dance on it. I'm going to do a big jazz dance later on. A hip-hop jazz dance, and you could do nothing about it.
You know that neighborhood that made you apoplectic with rage every time I mentioned it over the last 23 years? You'll never guess what.
Why is that, though, Dad? Well, let me tell you. So here's a flashback where we flash back to Snoop Dogg, who was a benevolent Jesus-style gangster.
It's nice to see a black man doing so well.
Yeah, we happy. Everybody's happy. We do all right.
Mm-hmm. But you know things change. And fools keep coming back, huh? Right, baby.
Those fools? They're my people.
I can dig that, man, but it ain't no thing, man. It's just a poor man's freebase. Check it out.
I ain't interested. And if you gonna sell it, don't sell it around here.
He just wanted to mind his own business and look after his people. and he didn't
And sell
want them to
drugs
all
to
get
them.
hooked on the drugs that he does. That he does a lot.
Yeah.
But he was betrayed. To Jay Bird.
Damn it. He just wanted to sell his basic drugs, and they came in with new flashy drugs, and he didn't want to get him hooked on those. He was betrayed, and Clifton Powell has a stab on him.
He just wants to smell Snoop Dogg's old-fashioned family drugs.
They're not addictive because he says so. And yeah.
And he'd know.
But
man who's been arrested in every possible scenario in the world for having drugs. And also for a couple of other things that I'm trying not to mention. I don't know why I'm trying not to mention, but let's just move on. So, there's a party. Yeah, there's the discotheque. They open. It's opening night and it's great. It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I love a discotheque. Yeah.
The new one.
Oh, good.
One thing leads to another. Skittles gets ate, which, is going to happen around me. I ate too much chocolate.
Ow, my heart.
Literally, ow, my heart. So he gets eaten by the dog, and that it restores the rest of Snoop. It restoops him.
Phil Tippett finally finished his masterwork, and Snoop Dogg comes back to life, and maggots rain down. Paul, maggots.
Yes, Uncommon gets
thought?
maggoted upon, and so does the
Yeah.
rest of the party. And so, yeah, now there's
Maggoted.
another stage to the movie, because Snoop Dogg rises from the grave and decides to go after all the people who screwed him over, starting with Crazy Ralph, who had a tangential relationship with the whole him getting stabbed several times, Murder on the Orient Express style.
Yeah, it's a tangential thing. He was his right hand man and defended him forever, and
Until
he betrayed him at the.
But he didn't betray him as bad as cop, rival gangster, or Uncommon's powerful dad. So he just gets murdered.
He gets murdered, and he looks like he's smiling at the end. Oh, the sweet release of absolution.
At least I don't have to be Crazy Ralph anymore.
Now I'm just normal Ralph.
Now I'm dead, Ralph. And that's good. So, Snoop Dogg walks down the street and remembers how people used to awkwardly run up to him and wave in joy at seeing him. But now they wave guns.
Oh, shit.
In
Well,
his
he's
face.
going to wave some dog shit back in theirs.
Yes, he
By which I
does
mean
some comic
cut their
book
heads off.
violence.
Yeah. He cuts their heads off, and then Robert Rodriguez comes in to direct a scene. and
Yay.
because Snoop Dogg is carrying around the heads of two of the men, Hairnet Larry and Gasman from Dumb and Dumber.
One of whom does look like the guy from Thinner after he's in his early stages. The cop does.
Yeah. That's fucking true. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And he also takes
Gross
their
face.
heads and then he kidnaps Uncommon's dad. So now it's time for the whole family to band together to save Dad. Except you, Julianne Moore. You stay here and out of the rest of the movie. Aw.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
So long forever.
This doesn't concern you. So
he was my
yeah.
father. It was mine too.
Yeah, but, What? What does that mean? No, I'm just
saying, you
I'm just
kind of
saying.
Suck.
Oh,
Give one instance of me sucky. I'm over here. Give me one instance. You're in the cupboard again. So they decide that it's the blood on Pam Grier's old dress that's keeping him alive. A wild conclusion to come to and stick to for the rest of the movie, but they do. And
it's not as wild as the solution, but we'll get there. Oh no, Clifton Powell's been put in the Wall of Corpses in the City of the Dead.
The one that was designed by the Tool guitarist. Guitarist? Yeah. You know the guitarist in Tool? Yes, I did. I in my head, I thought I'd said keyboardist. But I did say guitarist. That's how tired I am. I literally
don't know
forgot what the word guitarist meant and imagined keyboards. That's how tired I am.
I think, the magic that you're able to weave, even on autopilot, Paul, is wonderful. This labyrinth of self-doubt. Look, you've referenced Adam Jones. I've made a Phil Tippett thing. I think we've done our white man bit. So,
God, accurate self-doubt. I want to say I was correct to doubt myself. Fuck me.
It's true.
They decide. Yeah, sorry, I've already said that, Paul. What's going on? They end up in the City of the Dead as it appears in Little Monsters with Fred Savage.
Oh, okay, good. I'll take your word for it. Anyway, never mind that. Some of the other hilariously named rappers that you mentioned earlier die.
Yeah,
no,
Skittles
one of them dies.
returns.
You see Skittles. Skittles, my man.
He comes back, but he's a horrible imitation of what he once was. He's Skittles Sours.
He's doing that. Yeah. Oh,
abomination.
You're a Sours, mate. I mean, oh my guts. So he's dead. and some guns are fired, and then
the climax of Dungeons and Dragons starts to happen, complete with Snoop as Jeremy Irons. But luckily, Pam Grier was on hand to burn herself. I really hope she was right about that dress.
could have taken the dress off, but better just
There's no
better to
time.
be sure and kill yourself at the same time. And and there she goes. But oh no, it's a Freddy end, mate.
Oh no, because the house collapses and all is well. But yeah, Kendra's evil now, and she does a sick on him of maggots, and it's still more satisfying than what happened to her at the end of Buffy.
Oh, that's good.
I still enjoyed it more. So yeah, I think that just about does it for Bones, starring Snoop Dogg.
Starring the Snoop Dogg, the Mr. Snoop Dogg, sir.
A Snoop Dogg. So Paul, what do you make of Bones? 2001.
Oh, I didn't write any notes, mate.
Okay.
I finished. It was very similar to what that critic whose name I've already forgotten, DeSalle.
No, he's nameless.
The nameless critic, forever lost,
unaccounted for. Died in the big critic fire of 2015.
1988 and
1988.
19-dickety-do, and yeah, it's very much.
Dickety-do.
I wasn't really thinking about all the flaws of the film because it just felt like, not that it wasn't worth it, but it like as soon as it started, I just thought, like, I just had a sense of what I was watching.
I think it sets you up well.
Yeah, it's a silly, goofy, taking itself like questionably too seriously at times thing that's a bit naff, and so it just felt mean to sit, which is very patronizing of me to say, but it just felt like it wasn't in the spirit of things to sit there and go, well, this is poor and this is this is hilariously bad and all of this. It was just, I'm watching this weird movie about like this Halloween resurrection story where Snoop Dogg is the killer who comes back, and it was, it also had some kind of cool practical effects.
Yes, definitely.
It had a lot of my quick fires are the practical effects because they look really good, and there's some really interesting fucking Argento ass imagery in there, I think. And there's a lot of really kind of cool, gross moments. But then, some of it looks like it was put together for £10.
Yeah, some of the effects have dated quite a bit, and I think it is generally a fairly cheap production, which is what makes some of the shots that they have achieved all the more impressive.
Yeah.
I think there's two things going on here. What there isn't going on is a So Bad It's Good movie. I don't think that's here.
Yeah.
No. What you've got are two things. One is, a movie that is taking itself fairly seriously and is cribbing notes, I think, from Candyman.
Yeah. From a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's doing some interesting stuff. There's a lot of things in here. I was really impressed by the storyline of like second generation black youth whose dad was around when this neighborhood was, who lived in the terrible neighborhood and was a gangster and did what it took to get by and has moved himself out now and is terrified of his past coming to get him and his children and pull them in. Yeah. That was really good. That made me think of like Waves, with the dad in that. That was really interesting. Then you do have these second generation kids who are completely oblivious to what the neighborhood means and what happened there. Which, and in that sense, it's recalling like Candyman. The only difference is that, and the thing that takes it closer to like blaxploitation, is that it's not necessarily white authority that is causing all of the issues as much as it is gang on gang violence. So it doesn't quite hit that level of social commentary. But hey, that sort of thing was going on.
Yeah, it's very broad strokes, I think. And in a 90-minute movie that's primarily about like a dead Snoop Dogg coming back for vengeance.
Yeah, well, that's the second story. Yeah. But the first one has stuff going on, and I really like the slow build kind of beginning where there's creepy visuals and abstract things, and some of them do look terrible. In particular, anything that depends on CG just doesn't look very good. But some of the stuff looks very good and is impressive. Then the second movie starts at the point when they have the party, and it does become a Child's Play style Hellraiser, Return from the Dead, revenge story with Snoop Dogg quipping whilst doing... I don't know, I call it a vampire movie. Is it quite? It looks vampiric, but is it?
Yeah, it's... Like, I sold this to Nell as a Snoop Dogg vampire movie, and as it was going on, I thought, oops, she's going to sue me again.
Oh, God, so many suits and motion.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's not like
it's
a
just a
werewolf
ghoul.
either. It's just ghoulish.
An evil spirit returned from the grave. A zombie man, but with a will of his own. Yeah.
Real in fear. Yeah.
Real in theory. Yeah, so the second movie is a fair amount of fun until it gets bogged down into what I've always bemoaned, and it's true of almost every horror movie ever made, is how the hell do you end one of these damn things?
Yeah.
And what you don't do is just have them go to the demon world where you've got a lot of wandering around, and eventually there's a big shouty exorcism scene that resolves the plot. It's just always feels anticlimactic, and aside from the fact that Mr. Dog is going insane in that final scene, is fairly dull. So
yeah,
it ends with a bit of a whimper, which is a shame because I was enjoying myself a fair amount until we got there.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I have a fair few things to quickfire.
Good. I haven't got loads, but when it got to the but the fact that I don't have many notes either kind of speaks to. I was just happy to sit with it. I guess there are a lot of dull stretches and a lot of downtime in between moments that I saw and thought that actually looks really good, or this is really cool.
There was the potential to go further. So
yeah, but it wasn't egregious and like you say, it wasn't ridiculous in the way that so many movies that we've covered are.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching it thinking how the absolute fuck did a film get made by these people.
No, there's a lot of competency going on.
Yeah. It'll just this one will just slip by for me, but it'll be notable for actually putting some work into the practical effects.
Yeah. So, I do think it could have gone further, though, because there's interesting things to be said about what is the resolution to that? What is the resolution to the anxiety of the idea that a family has worked hard, made money, and tried to get out of, that area, and as a result developed this kind of protective attitude that the dad clearly has, which is that if people wanted out of the ghetto hard enough, they could work for it and get out of there. Which is, obviously a grounding of a great deal of social ills. So what would the resolution of that be? And it's not burn Pam Grier's dress or let go of the past. You know what? The implication of burning Pam Grier's dress is that they just need to let go of the past and move on, and they shouldn't have come back. And that's not great for as messaging goes. The solution to the ghetto is get the fuck out of the ghetto and never look back. It should have been something to do with the fact that they're still part of this community and they still have a responsibility towards it, and that's
interesting as a realistic and sort of sometimes necessary way of thinking that humans employ. And that in itself could have been explored, but again, it didn't feel like the film to properly explore that, even if it started with some interesting ideas.
I think you still can.
It didn't feel like the film that was going to. Not that it couldn't, but like this film going like the general vibe of it and the sort of quality that I got from it, it didn't feel like this was going to be the film that did that.
Well, that's why you've got these two movies kind of working in opposition to each other. One of them being a fairly dark and fairly interesting horror movie with things to say, and the other one being this very silly, kind of fun Snoop Dogg adventure. And ultimately, if it had managed to balance the two elements, which I do believe it could have, I'm thinking of Megan, for example, which balances a fun, campy horror movie against a horror movie that actually has things to say. You can have both. You can definitely have both.
Oh, for sure.
So, a little bit of finessing would have been good here and a better climax. Otherwise, I'm relatively positive about Bones. I think it deserves a place amongst... it was a bit of a dry spot for horror was the early noughties. All I can think of is stuff like 13 Ghosts and the remake of House on the Hill. Not necessarily classics that have endured. I must be overlooking things.
there's a vibe of that era again. You know, it's one shade away from blue steel, and a lot of the time it's just red steel.
Catherine Bigelow film.
That's it.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis wandering around dating serial killers all over the place.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, it could have the way to explore this would have, you know, been something that an elevated horror movie would have done, Paul. You know, you've heard of those.
Oh, now then,
movies that are bad. But you know, like it's an abstract thing, and I guess the spirit of Snoop Dogg could have been deeply symbolic of the question, you know, the questions or the issues there. But yeah, having a big old I was killed and now I'm coming back story, I guess.
Well, we're going in circles, but yeah, like I say, I think it could have been done. It could have been done in a movie like this. Anywho, with that said, let's quickfire. Quickfire. 70s look good. Every aspect of it, the cars, Snoop Dogg's whole outfit, his weird sort of messianic El Topo inspired look. Yeah, there was something about it was very powerful.
In the middle of, because that was the credit sequence as well, and I enjoyed it. In the middle of that, it went from what I think was a Snoop Dogg track to it faded in a sort of discordant, rising horror sting.
Yes.
And then it went into, you know, the full-blown horror music, but it was a real sense of unease as that faded in. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I remember that because I remember Jack arrived home halfway through the credit sequence and I paused it, and I remember listening to the track and being like, okay, here we go, it's a fun track. And then I paused it, and then when Jack left, I played it, and I was like, wait, this wasn't the atmosphere I remember it being.
And then Snoop Dogg's behind you again.
Oh no, not again. Jesus Christ. 22-year age gap in Greer's favor between her and Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah, older woman by 22 years. That's pretty good.
Wow, that is good.
Something a bit different on screen. Like it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Take note, Mr. Cruz. Start dating an 80-year-old.
Yeah. See, good luck to you, Leo Grand, film from the future.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Watch that movie in the future. When you get there, all of you.
When Guy from New Girl, Vanilla Ice, and his friend Vanilla Ice were buying drugs.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning, the dealers don't have the drugs on them. They have to go to a spot to pick it up. And he's like, where was it again? And his friend, this like angry guy, just goes,
just around the corner, down the block, by the, what's that nigga? Loose brick, north side of the building, motherfucker.
And it's just so like, all right, Jesus. I'm sorry that the architecture has disrupted you so much. Needlessly aggressive, wasn't he, Brian? Shh, don't
shoddy workmanship. And I won't have it, not in my neighborhood. He's deeply concerned as a citizen.
But he's deeply conservative.
He's deeply conservative as a citizen.
And that's why I think all of you need to just work harder.
There was some good abstract editing around the place, particularly in the opening sequence and the flashbacks. There was some good sort of single shot spooky business going on.
Nice. Spooky business.
Spooky business. Welcome to Paul Sol's Spooky Business.
Oh no! Fuck, he tricked me into another episode of Paul Sol's Spooky Business.
Today we're going to be paying a visit to the HR department. Hey, everyone! It was spooky in there.
That's Paul Sol's Spooky Business. Okay. When Kendra is... Oh, is it Kendra? Or it might be Uncommon. Someone is going around the house with a torch.
Around the ass.
Behind them, around the ass, with a torch, and behind them there are these shadow effects on the walls. I think it happens to a couple of characters, and they're they're kind of like projections, you know, like old movie projections, but you know, meant to be shadows. I thought they looked really good. Kind of just very vivid, haunting images that didn't look CGI'd.
Yes, there was something of the Nosferatu about it.
Yeah, I like that.
And there's a weird moment where one of them is looking down a corridor and sees some sort of ghost. And it's like, it's not a very convincing looking ghost, but there's something about how still it is and how long we dwell on it that suddenly gives it this weird energy that was really strange. It was just matter-of-factly there. and you can look at it, and you can keep looking at it and try and like make sense of it, like how main character was doing. Like, that's not what I think it is. It can't be, because it's just there. It's not doing anything. And also, it's a ghost, and I don't believe in ghosts, so it's not. But it just kept staying there.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I felt that as well.
Yeah.
Made me think of creepy old photographs.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, please, no.
Oh, God.
Let me talk about the dog pool.
Okay, dog.
I think it was a cute dog.
Yeah.
When it wasn't, chomping on faces and that. But sometimes it just sat there and went, and that was the cute dog. And I also liked the conceit of the dog having to eat meat, or like raw meat, in order to build up the blood and guts of Snoop Dogg for him to recover.
Yeah, it was doing a Hellraiser thing, but with a dog instead of a beautiful woman.
Beautiful butterfly.
Beautiful.
See, if you don't watch a lot of movies, Paul, you think that these ideas are original and good.
Well, it was still done in a good way, and I really liked the effects of Snoop Dogg growing back. Like there was obviously
great.
some reverse footage going on, but it was good stuff. It was groovy in a way that I enjoyed. Yeah.
You tap into that gristle.
I like the lone house on its own. It's a constantly surprised-looking house, because it's just on its own in the middle of nothing. Every other house has been demolished and pulled away, and this house is just left there. And it's got great verticality to it, and it feels good and intimidating. I like that. It's it's a cool thing to make an urban house look frightening, and I think that's well done.
Nice. When our Scooby-Doo bunch first come out of the house after talking about how they're going to do it all up, Crazy Ralph, who's in the window on the opposite side of the road, just looking down in there with a gun, he yells out, "What are you doing over there with that dog? Is it yours? What?" It's just the
he didn't expect to get anything back.
What y'all doing over there with that dog? Is it yours? Huh?
Yeah, the quick what response is always fucking good. It always works for me. Is he yours? What? Is he yours?
That's very good.
Great.
I like the creepy Jimmy Bones song. They clearly go for a Nightmare on Elm Street style nursery rhyme, but there's something kind of cool about this one, and it just it felt appropriate. This particular ghost has a cool rhyme. I can't remember what it is or the melody to it, but I remember enjoying it, so I'll sample it here.
This is the story of Jimmy Bones, black as night and hard as stone.
Jimmy Bones, made of stones or as tough as stone.
Jimmy Bones gave out loans, now he's come to get your pay. Jimmy Bones on the phones.
It's Jimmy Bones here on the phones.
What's that you say?
Not all alone.
Watch out for Jimmy Bones, here he comes to end your loans. I don't know. Paul, I'm so tired. I'm trying to do a Jimmy Bones song, and it's just not coming along as I hoped it would.
You just need the right beat, mate. Just experiment out loud while I talk about my next quickfire.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Bones, Jimmy Bones.
Yeah, I just want to touch back on the line, don't think, or I'll burn your asses and snort your asses. The ellipsis between burn your asses and snort your asses is great.
All right, so I will burn your asses and snort your asses. Now get the fuck out of here.
Like, I'll burn them and snort them, I guess. I don't know. Get out of here.
Oh, God. When Uncommon is bullying his mate, Skittles, about not being black enough, and that's colorism, folks, and it's a major problem amongst all communities. Don't be buying into it. But here's a funny thing that comes out of it.
I am the future, alright? I'm the melting pot.
Smoking pot.
I'm the tossed salad. I am Martin Luther King's dream. All I gotta do is hold my own hand.
That's great.
That is good. Look, there's a good narrow-eyed glare from Snoopy out the back of the limo in 1979 when he's looking at Clifton Powell.
Oh, he could do a glare.
Oh, it's a good glare, Paul. It says a lot about a man.
You just try and tell him to stop smoking grass for 5 minutes. And he'll get that glare.
Please.
Love of God. I really liked Clifton Powell as cool dad. Like, he was a conservative dad, but you got him as a character, and he was frightening. And there's a moment where he says something like, You know, I don't. It's somebody's quoting some sort of line that was clearly said to get people to immigrate to America where their labor was exploited.
No, Dad. The man has been lying to us for 100 years.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for my 40 acres and a mule.
You gonna be waiting.
Son, you wouldn't know a mule if one bit you in the ass. Personally, I don't need a mule. I've got myself a Lexus, and nobody gave it to me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's a powerful line.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it was good. He was authoritative and a good, striking presence and other things. Yeah.
Reassuring in his own way.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Wall of Corpses, Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love that
wall. That shit. Yeah.
I've got one in my house.
Yeah, I know.
Your room, wasn't it, when you were staying?
Yeah, mate. It had a very, very cool, grody, get your teeth into that grossness feel to it. It occasionally had a cheapo look and feel to it, but there were some really cool moments, like people coming out with extended faces and chins, specifically.
Yeah, and somebody's butt is just in there in one of the sequences. You can just see a butt.
Wall of Corpses, mate. There's going to be one butt.
There's going to be a butt. You can't position them all perfectly to not have a butt. That's so weird. My very next one was the Practical Soul Wall is kind of cool.
Ah, well, there we go.
There you go. Synergy.
Parenthesis, in spite of the butt. You're telling me, mate, that you're going to build a wall of corpses and you're going to ensure that every single one is butt back so no one has to see it. You're dreaming.
Dreaming of it, mate.
I am.
So, yeah, two things. I am going to mention those two moments around the sex scene. First of all, she comes onto him and makes the first move, and I like that. And then second of all, they're getting into it. Things are happening, and then she says, "Actually, no, I want to stop." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Do you want to, do you want to sleep here, or do you want to, or should I find you a way home?" Like that.
Can I drive you home? Yeah.
Obviously, that's how it should work, but like to have that portrayed in a movie, a genre movie of the early noughties, is really cool.
Patrick, stop.
What?
I can't.
All right. Do you want me to take you home?
No. I want to stay with you guys. It's just...
No. You don't have to explain. I understand. I'll go sleep with the guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll direct you to Sweet November. Just a couple of weeks ago, when Keanu stormed into the rain.
Jesus.
Being told to slow down a bit.
Yeah. You're still going to get some sex, but slow down, mate.
No! Damn
I'm not going to take it. Do you know who I am?
It's a hot dog!
He says, pointing at his crotch.
It's a hot dog.
Dog. The vision, the seance, and the dream, I guess, that Kendra is also having, where she's sort of bathing in blood on the bed.
Yeah.
The reds were very Argento, I felt, and it was
striking, mate. Oh, the blood in general.
Striking.
It looked very Hammer horror. It was like paint, and I really liked that.
Yes, it was like paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It made it very vivid and sort of old school horror.
Cool. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when Snoop Dogg dies, there's some pretty good squib work because he gets shot and suddenly it's just like blam, and the whole world is made of blood now, and it was. I love that. I love an old naughty style squib effect.
It made me think of RoboCop. Obviously, RoboCop is 10 times that, but it was a similar. Yeah. Okay, 11 times that, but it was. It was still. This is still bloody, and that was fun.
Yeah.
The dog puking maggots.
Oh,
I enjoyed the dog just straight up puking maggots at Skittles. It was uncommon, wasn't it? But
yeah,
it was very silly. It was very silly, but it was fun. It was just out there and unexpected. And you got just some close-ups of a dog just going bah, and millions of maggots escaping its mouth.
Yeah, because they're going for Candyman's bees thing, because he has bees like pouring out of his mouth and such. But yeah, having it as maggots and having a dog do it is such an interesting sort of moment. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into the second movie now. The sort of that's a good segue into the second movie. At one point, Snoop Dogg is asked if he wants to get high, and he says something like,
"Are you looking to score?" Little brother. I got a natural high. A supernatural high.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I want to hear. Thank you. That's the kind of lines you
great.
need to be writing for the second movie.
Great, mate. Oh, good for you. On you go, son. I liked carrying their heads around. That was kind of fun and again unexpected.
God, yeah.
And I wasn't expecting the film to take that sidestep.
Because the heads are talking and are still alive and they're like, hey,
sorry.
where you taking me? What you need with my
that's
head?
Yeah, that's it. That was the crucial detail that I hadn't mentioned yet. They're just like, oh, he's carrying the heads around. Awesome. They're talking. It's reminded me of Sin City, despite this is 2001, so it's not like cribbing from it. But
it's got like Reanimator feel to it, which is good fun.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good stuff.
Good stuff. It looked terrible when he killed the two guys, but the idea of having blood splatter on the wall and the shape of the two guys recoiling in horror was quite amusing. It did get a reaction out of me.
Oh, good. Yeah, that was fun. I forgot about that.
Silly.
Yeah. But, I think, do you know what? I think I might already be out, Paul. Yeah.
All right. I've only got a few more.
I'm going to eat this cake.
Eat some cake, you fucking maniac. Fine. I'm going to talk about the rest of this movie whilst you eat cake.
Brilliant.
You Marie Antoinette motherfucker. I like the way that the rival gangster is killed by Snoop Dogg, because he comes in and he slices open his pool table, which starts gushing and oozing with blood, which is a really weird and interesting effect that I found quite good. Then he breaks a mirror, and 4 shards of the mirror surround him and then impale the guy all at once.
Yeah.
And again, it's good stuff. I like that.
That was good. I did like the mirror, the reflection, and being like, "Is this your dream?" or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because he gives a big speech before he kills Snoop Dogg back in the 70s.
That's
vision.
yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. I like that. And then when Snoop Dogg finally appears before Clifton Powell.
How the hell did you get in here?
At a time like this, is that what you really want to know? How the fuck I got in here?
Which is great, because he's an undead man you murdered in the past who's appeared for you as a terrifying zombie with heads in his hand. And you're like, how did you get in here? I'm sure I locked that door.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, I didn't. Still,
wait a minute,
unusual.
where's Jimmy?
I'm here. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, how did you get in here? So, finally, the moment that really, like I alluded to, the ending has got something of the Dungeons and Dragons 2000, whenever the fuck that thing was made, about it. And the moment that really sent it over the top for me was when he's torturing our hero, Uncommon. And he's doing it by having him elevated in the air and is spinning him around. And it's such a lame digital effect of him like spinning around, and Snoop Dogg's just cackling maniacally, and it's just like, okay, you got me.
Occasionally cackling maniacally, there'll be a pause.
There'll be a mysterious pause, and he comes back, and his eyes are a bit redder, and he continues on with what he was with cackling.
I just saw a squirrel.
Yay! You got cake and a squirrel. Everything's going right.
No, I was doing a Snoop Dogg, mate.
Oh, he saw a squirrel.
What he does when he's stoned. We don't have squirrels here, mate.
Not in Australia. Outlawed. Scott Morrison's final act.
We will regret leaving him now.
Yeah, driven into the sea. When they formed a Squirrel Island. And it's on that Squirrel Island, dear folk, that we have to say, what did you have to say about this? Because let's check in with the OG team that I think I remember asking.
Ooh, okay.
Let's find out. I'll check Twitter. You check Facebook. We'll meet in the middle and see how we got on. Or you too busy with cake, you big cake boy. Yeah, there it is. Nothing.
Both.
2 likes. Nothing else. Okay. Patreon.
Nothing on Facebook.
Nothing on Facebook. This is our last chance.
For relevance.
Come on, Bonesy. Okay, that's still about in time. This isn't helping us, everyone. Nope, nothing. I think there's a strong chance. Oh, here we go. Wasn't Snoop Dogg in a Netflix film that released last year, or have I lost my mind? Might have been. Oh. I've got to be honest, I haven't kept tabs on the Snoop Dogg.
That was your one job, mate.
But I'm willing to bet that he probably did something with Netflix last year. But it does not constitute a good thing about Bones 2001. But thanks nevertheless, Luke Ciancio.
Thanks, Luke.
You're a good man, and I believe in you. But for now, we're going to have to talk about the one better thing. The one better thing. We're going to start with Paul.
Okay.
Is that cake?
Always. The perennial one better thing is a nice, dense, moist slice of cake. Now.
Directed by Peter Jackson.
A dense, moist Peter Jackson we can all get on board with. Now.
Oh?
Sorry. Undereducated on blaxploitation as I am, sorry. If you're like me and you're clueless as fuck, it's good cake. You could start with Dolomite Is My Name, which is a nice nice little refresher on, or fresher, I guess, on the life of Rudy Ray Moore and his getting into the business. Yeah, but if you're like me and you're clueless as fuck, you could start with Dolomite Is My... Oh, for fuck's sake, just burped in the middle of...
You piece of shit, man.
You know what, Paul? I shouldn't have eaten the cake at the same time as I was meant to be talking. But I was running on fumes.
Needed cake. Cake break, boss.
This is your 5th cake break in 1 hour, mate. You're a lazy man. I need that cake energy. So, Dolomite Is My Name. 2019 biographical comedy about Rudy Ray Moore and how he gets into the business of making iconic cult blaxploitation cinema. Eddie Murphy in one of his best roles ever surprises us all by reminding us that he can actually do something, and with really interesting cameos, especially from Wesley Snipes. It's just a really good taste of what you could get into if, unlike me, you spend some time to get into it.
Yeah, and a lot of those Rudy Ray Moore movies that I've seen. I think I've only seen Dolomite, Avenging Disco Godfather, and Petey Whiteshaw. All the ones I've seen, though, have held up really well, so I still highly recommend those. Blaxploitation is tricky, and it was obviously tempting to just go for a blaxploitation movie, but generally the movement is seen as being a mixed blessing, because although it was one of the first movies to feature black talent in the lead, and it positioned them in positions of power, it still reinforced an awful lot of stereotypes and was largely made, but it's hence the exploitation name for white audiences. But as we've discussed many a time in the past, just because a movie's made for a certain audience doesn't mean that's the one that end up embracing it. So, yeah, there's interesting nuance there, which I'd be interested to try and get into in our own clumsy way somewhere down the line. Nevertheless, I highly recommend Candyman, of course. Both Candymans. I know there's more Candymans, but the main Candymans. The Candyman from 1992 and the remake from Nia DaCosta.
I get you.
Both of which are extremely good, and I think touch upon a lot of social issues while still being very frightening. And both of them have quite memorable soundtracks, but one of them is by Philip Glass, which is obviously exceptional.
Ooh,
but
lovely.
Yeah, they're both spooky, creepy, and really good. So I recommend Candymans.
And I recommend Cakey Mans.
Cakey Man. The one better thing. Well, Paul, where can people find out about the Cakey Man and his terrible, terrible deeds?
It's terrible, terrible podcast etiquette. I'm sorry, everybody. I was so hungry and tired.
They'll forgive you. They know about the cake need. They all feel it. You all feel it. Why don't you get it sated here in the podcast zone?
In the one good cake thing. I think that's probably a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, still owned by that same woman.
You just keep making podcasts alluding to how much of a bunch of pricks we are.
It's really unfair. We're not pricks, actually.
Not that much, anyway.
No.
A little bit of one, and you can figure out just how much of a prick we is by checking us out on OGT Pod at Twitter and Facebook, and sending us an email at ogtpod@gmail.com. And you can say, Paul, how much of pricks are you? And we'll be like, I don't know. Does this count?
A lot.
And you'll think that's a weird response. Like semantically doesn't quite make sense. And then you'll just see a picture of us eating cake, and you're like, not again. And then we got you suckers.
Yeah, so for weird encounters like that, get in touch, and we'll be happy to work that out for you. I could walk directly into you in a next. Happy to arrange that.
With some cake.
Yeah. I could ask you if you have any change on the subway, but I'm just well dressed enough that it's not that easy to dismiss me as it would otherwise be.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Not as hard as this.
Oh! I'm Paul Hard as this.
I'm not as hard as Paul.
Remember, the one good thing about Bones. Oh, God. It's called Bones.
Oh, we're sorry, everyone. Representation, equality, we're all for it. Yay!
Yay! Sorry that we're terrible. But remember, the one good thing about Burns, always there's some spooky bits.
Oh, yeah, the spooky bits are spooky.
There's spooky bits, and there's also some silly bits, and you should just find out.
Definitely.